And very late. I'm sorry again. My job is very different now, so my hours on here might be very weird. I think I'm going to have to change because, of course, this is typically my Monday show, and while technically in my mind it's Monday night because I haven't gone to sleep yet, it's technically Tuesday because it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here. So I'm definitely going to have to probably switch some of the stuff. I'm stepping on a piece of paper that's on my ground. I have no clue what it is, but it's annoying the crap out of me. Um, so, of course, with my Monday show, I typically do follow the script. It's my movie show. We are normally talking like, I don't really want to talk about movie news because I really don't care until they are saying, hey, we just wrapped shooting. I could care less because so many of the movies that I really want them to do, just because I want to see what they would do with them, because I'm not the type that, I don't care. If you want to remake something, remake it all fucking day. I will watch every single version of that remake because it's interesting to me. I just threw the paper. Anyway, so because I don't want to talk about movie news, I basically just wanted to, I know I did this on my WT Friday show, but I'm going to kind of go over because I've actually watched every movie, and this is kind of scary. In less than a week, I've watched every movie I got on Black Friday. Holy crap, that has never happened. It normally takes me about 3 weeks, even when I had no job, to watch all movies. So I'm going to kind of go over them again. Uh, some I might have smaller thoughts on, some I might have bigger thoughts on. So we'll just kind of go through them right now. Passengers. It actually was really cool. I actually didn't know that Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie. The marketing actually hit him completely, and he actually plays a semi-central character. But it was very interesting. I actually quite enjoyed it, and as my friends know, now you guys are gonna know, I fucking hate Jennifer Lawrence. Not that I think she's a bad actress, and she's very pretty, but the way she all of a sudden started coming at the X-Men universe, don't ruin something from my childhood. Don't fuck with my childhood. Plain and simple. And that's what she did. And then she literally in one movie goes, mutant power. And in the very next movie, she's just using her power to hide in plain sight. You fucked with my things, so you pissed me off. But I really liked her in this movie. She's actually really good. They did go into the whole fact, because if you know anything about it, he woke up early and then he woke her up. So they actually handled that very well and very interesting. And I think it's actually what would happen if this whole circumstances really happened. I do think it would have taken longer than a year for him to completely go crazy, because I mean, come on, Tom Hanks was on that island in Castaway for like what, 3-4 years before he really went crazy. But again, if you're wanting a decent movie, that's actually a really, really good movie. Um, Mission Impossible Fallout. I ended up getting this on DVD rather than Blu-ray because of the fact that I kind of fell off the Mission Impossible train. Give me one second. In the third movie? That doesn't seem right. I think it was like the fourth movie I fell off. Just because it started getting too complex and just not as straightforward. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough. I don't know, because I'm constantly doing multiple things. So, but I watched this. I do like all the central characters. I also thought it was really nice that he doesn't have like a huge team anymore. He only really, his team basically consists of two guys that works with him. Yeah, and technically, yes, it ended up consisting of also Henry Cavill. If you don't know the movie, he was part of his team for a bit. And then a woman that was previous movie, I might have missed that movie. So, but it was actually really good. Um, but at the same time, was it Paramount? I think. Yeah, Paramount. Why the hell didn't you let him shave his mustache? Seriously, come on. Actually, no, I put it on DC because I think DC made the biggest mistake ever when they brought back Superman and he didn't have like a full fucking beard, a mullet, and a black suit. So I put that on DC. I don't put that on Paramount. You could have allowed him to have the mustache. Not only that, give him a full fucking beard, and it would have been awesome to see Superman with a beard. I'm just saying. Let's go over one of the best movies. Like, this is such a well done movie, Crazy Rich Asians. I already went over this a lot because when I did my WTF, I actually had already watched this. But again, I don't think I'm giving it enough praise by saying it's just a well done movie. But if you think about it, so many movies nowadays are not well done. They miss the ball in certain situations. So to have a movie that has a good story and then has a great cast who really, like, you felt something for each character, and each character, even the most minuscule characters, were well developed. The only criticism I have for this movie is shit, what's his name? Ken Jeong. I thought every time he showed up on screen, he was a little out of place, which he only showed up on screen, I think, like, for a major part one time. He shows up a little later, and he actually does something very cute. But he was the only thing that in the movie kind of took me out of it. Like, I kind of felt like he was just him, which is not a bad thing. He's a funny guy, and I quite enjoy him in a lot of movies. But I just thought that maybe they shouldn't have cast him in this movie. But other than that, that is like the most small bit of criticism, because I absolutely adore this movie. I think this movie was really well done. So we're gonna go with I have two more DVDs. I bought Ferdinand, which, if you know anything about me, which does that tell you enough about me? John Cena as a bull. I was actually talking to the girl at work, the manager tonight, and her criticism I actually kind of agreed with. There was no nod to the fact that John Cena was starring in this. Like, he honestly wasn't John Cena. He was Ferdinand, which is a good thing. But when you recognize the voice, you want some John Cena isms. Like, you wanted him to kind of almost wink at the camera at certain things. I mean, at the same time, I don't know how you could get a bull to all of a sudden look at somebody and go, "You can't see me," but you got to admit that would be fun as shit. So I really enjoyed that movie. I've said it on here, and you can see it in my description. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I remember for the longest time, so I feel like I'm kind of getting out of that, considering I bought 4 animated features, and I actually watched every single one of them with no problem. Because when I had to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, by the way, I saw one episode. I still can't remember what exactly was said in that episode, but it was something so basic, and I'm like, that's not how that works. And I just remember saying that to myself as I'm watching my daughter watch this. I'm like, they're literally teaching them wrong. But I can't remember what it was, so I can't really harp on it too much. But so the fact that I got animation and I was able to watch them without, being bored and kind of going, no, let me watch something else, that was actually pretty cool. Which leads me to the last DVD I bought, which was, dude, Batman and the Ninja Turtles. And it's not Batman and the Ninja Turtles, it's Batman versus Ninja Turtles, which is more misleading than anything else, because there was only one fight between, well, I guess Batman versus Superman, there's only one fight between them, but 90% of the movie they were teaming up, so I don't really see versus. And especially if you don't know that the other actually exists and you're two heroes and you kind of, one fights ninjas, the other one fights a bunch of freaking shit, all of a sudden coming together, no shit, they're gonna fight each other. But I do have to say, by far the best fight was Shredder versus Batman. That happens at the beginning of the movie, when Batman first kind of gets involved with everything. That was really cool. One thing I said in WTF, two criticisms I have for this movie. One, I wish that the style that they did Batman and the style that they did the Ninja Turtles mixed a little bit more. Like the Foot Soldiers look great next to Batman, Shredder looked great next to Batman, but when you put Batman next to the Ninja Turtles, you kind of felt like it was two different styles. I did like, however, the fact that they wanted to keep bold colors with the Ninja Turtles, so that's why ultimately Batman's in his more blue attire rather than the black attire. But I think you could have had a mesh of both, because at one point his suit gets destroyed, and I feel like he should have changed suits, especially since you saw that he had multiple colors, multiple types of suits. I also would have loved to have seen Nightwing a little bit more in this, because he's not in it at all. And clearly the Robin in this is Damian Wayne, which is also very weird because he doesn't act like Damian Wayne. But the fact that he actually calls him father, obviously that's Damian Wayne. Because even though technically Dick Grayson is the son of Bruce Wayne, he never really calls him father. They allude to it in the comic books, but still. Other than that, I really loved it. They even did the shadows somewhat, which was kind of cool, because they even put Batman in the shadows and still had like the splash of color that they did it. So I actually just, my biggest criticism of it, because I really love this, I just wish there was a little bit more on the adult side of the animation side of it, especially DC animated movies. They have done really well in the past showing a more mature style of doing these characters, and I think this movie would have benefited from that. I can't remember if anybody that I know, something tells me somebody said that they hated this movie, so maybe that's why, but I absolutely loved it. Ninja Turtles, Batman, that is my shit right there. Now, I'm going to keep going into the animated features, which another DC property. Now, this one was very, very unique for me, which was Justice League versus the Fatal Five. That's the second versus that I got. Wow. But this was true. It led all the way up to versus the Fatal Five. But it was very, very interesting, considering the fact that the style that they did this in was Justice League Unlimited. So it was very, very interesting to kind of show that. But of course, they didn't want to show Jon Stewart, because the focus was on her, which was Livewire. Yeah, Jessica Cruz, Livewire. Actually, the one thing about her is I kind of want a little more of her past, because they did show her past, that like her and her friends were camping and they stumbled across a like a mobster burying bodies of people he killed, and then he drags her and her friends, puts them down, and boom, shoots one. The other one screams or something, shoots her, and then Jessica runs off. She escapes, and then all of a sudden she's the Green Lantern, or she basically got a Green Lantern ring. By the way, they make such a big deal of Hal Jordan when he gets the ring. This species gets a ring? Ugh, why? And then all of a sudden, like 15 Green Lanterns are from our Earth. Like, come on. Like, every Green Lantern from that point on is from Earth. Plus, also, you got Hal Jordan, Alan Scott. You've got Guy Gardner. Was there a Kyle? Kyle Reese? No, I'm just kidding. I know that's Terminator. And then you got Jon Stewart, now Jessica Cruz, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of weird that they make such a big deal out of one human becoming the Green Lantern. And the funny part is, Hal Jordan is not even the first Green Lantern. I know there's at least one before him. No, there's two. Guy Gardner and Alan Scott were before him. Now, I believe Alan Scott was the very first one, and it actually had nothing to do with the Green Lantern Corps. He had a completely different origin and all that. He also had a cape and a red suit, so it was really weird. But it was very interesting. The guy that comes from the future, which is the crux of all this, he's actually very interesting to me. I kind of want to look more up, which is Starboy. Although he's portrayed as like a 30-some-year-old man, but Starboy. I'm not going to go with the anime feature. I'm going to go with Goosebumps 2 next, because the animated feature that's coming next, everybody knows. So this was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And Jack Black did show up in it. The first Goosebumps was way better. I enjoyed it more. I would have liked a more of a sequel to that movie, not a random ass sequel that ended up creating all new characters, all new problems. And they set up for a third movie that they're clearly never going to do. I don't think they're doing Goosebumps 3. They set up for a sequel, but I don't think they're going to do that, because as far as I know, this movie did very bad. Like I said, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but it also wasn't as real as the last one. The last one had better characters, a better story, and a better world. So, still enjoyable, and I definitely will probably watch this again, but Goosebumps 1 was a lot better. Like, a few character traits were really good. So now we're going into the last animated, Into the Spider-Verse. Do I need to say anything? Everybody loves it. Talk about getting a sequel. By the way, look at the top. Academy Award winning for Best Animated Feature. Go Marvel. I find it funny, for the longest time when I always did the Marvel versus DC thing, and we always talk about DC's failing. Let's be frank about that. I just told you how much I love Batman, and Batman is my thing. You look around my room, you see more DC than anything else, other than when you look behind me right now, because the only thing that's apparent behind me is my wrestling stuff. But I have Harley Quinn everywhere. I have the Bat family over there. I have Raven. I have Catwoman. I have Wonder Woman. I have Harley, Raven. I got 2 Ravens up there. It's got to be 2 Ravens. But I've got them everywhere. DC is awesome. The problem with DC live action is they don't know what the fuck they have. And I'm sorry. Fuck everybody that liked Joker. Fuck them. I don't care. You fucking suck. For the longest time, I literally stated, everyone's like, oh, well, it's an origin story. Origin stories is point A to point B. Point A is him becoming something that will face Batman. This guy's never going to face Batman. If you're going to put Batman in the next feature, are you fucking insane? He's 70 and Batman is freaking 8. And I'm still seeing reports. Oh, I know it's probably fake, because nobody wants to see Bradley Cooper as Batman. I like Bradley Cooper, but he ain't fucking Batman. I'm sorry. I saw that article and I'm like, are you... I'm not even clicking on it. This is stupid beyond all reason. But it's like, the fact of the matter is, first off, every time I said that, it's like, Joker doesn't need Batman. Well, what do you want for the sequel? Batman. You just argued with me for months upon months that Joker does not need Batman, but in the sequel you want Batman. Fuck you. Batman was in the movie. He was 8 years old. And even at 8 years old, he could have probably beat the shit out of that guy. Okay? Fucking bullshit. I hate that movie. The movie is stupid as fuck. And you want to talk disturbing? Everybody on the internet, oh my god, it was so good. He was so disturbing. He fucking shot people. That's disturbing. Let's go through some of these movies that I just went through. Let's see. I've seen people get shot in this. A lot of fucking people get shot in this. Are those 2 movies disturbing? Actually, wait, even this. Spider-Verse, somebody gets shot. Oh, wait, and this. Somebody gets shot. Is that fucking disturbing? No. But it's a good transition to my next movie. You want to talk about a fucking disturbing killings? Brightburn. Disturbing beyond all reason. And you know what? It was meant to be. This is evil Superman. This is what if Superman was sent here not to save him from his planet, not to save us from ourselves, but he was sent here to be nurtured by our own fucking people just to end up killing every single last one of us and ruling over us with all the power that he's getting. That is what Brightburn is. What if Superman did not get our morals? Basically, what Amanda Waller said at the beginning of Suicide Squad, if he didn't have our same morals. First of all, Amanda Waller, you have no morals. So you giving that speech was crazy. But this is the pure definition of what disturbing looks like. He doesn't just shoot these people. You're not even sure where one of his victims goes. She just fucking disappeared. He broke his fucking uncle's jaw. Like, this fucking shit. And it shows it all. This is a hard R-rated movie. And this deserves the R rating. Joker did not deserve an R rating. Disturbing. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I hate that movie. And the more people talk about it, the more I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I like Joker. I like DC. I wanted a balls to the wall Joker movie. You did not give it to me. Fuck you. Anyway, moving on to an almost another comic inspired kind of thing is Glass. Okay. This part, I know I've spoiled a lot of things, but I am going to go into little spoilers because everybody kind of complained about the ending. I absolutely understand where you're coming from with the ending. I completely understand it because of how much you liked Bruce Willis's character. But to say that all of that didn't make sense, you can't give your lead character the weakness of water and then expect, even in a puddle, him to somehow overcome it. Now, in my mind, one of the biggest problems with that was, how did they get him all the way to the puddle and put him down in there for the weakness to take effect? I mean, this guy just broke through a solid steel door, and these regular guys drag him over to it. So I can completely understand. Now, one thing I will say about this movie is I understood it, so I really loved it. My my favorite part is the freaking the psychiatrist, which I can't remember what the girl's name is. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, because I feel so sorry because I forgot it. This was Anya Taylor-Joy or Sarah Paulson? I don't know. I'm sorry for forgetting your name. I'm not really good with actors and actresses' names. But I love two moments. One, the fact that she couldn't let him die without giving him the knowledge. That I did kind of like. But when she found out that she still failed at her mission, and she walks out into the hallway and the camera's on her, and she just basically goes, "Fuck!" That was the best thing I've ever seen, because that is exactly how anybody would react to that. So, one thing I will say about this movie, I kind of want to see a sequel. I know this is the ending to this series, but I want to explore this world more. I really do. I want to see what happens now that the world kind of knows, because at the same time, in my mind, the world would just sweep it under the rug. It's not that hard. Like, it really is not that hard. Although, at the same time, go to Aquaman. When they start talking about that and they still have the crazy conspiracy nut, it's like, oh, he's nutty. An underwater world of Atlantis. The entire world knows Aquaman exists. The entire world knows a Kryptonian alien exists. The entire world knows about Wonder Woman. They don't know who she is, even though she wears no mask and Diana Prince. Man, she could be her sister or her. But it's like, you're in this world where all this stuff exists and you know it, and yet you still have the conspiracy theorists. Atlantis is real. No, it's not. They just took all the trash in the world and dumped it back on the shore. At the same time, I always question, why did it take them so long to do that? Why did they have to do it in such a big mound? Why couldn't they just kind of throw it back at us, but either way. So the fact of the matter is, just because you released a video doesn't mean that people would believe it after a while. I cannot remember. There's a movie though that they go through it and it's like, oh my god, this happened. Oh my god, this happened. Oh my god, this. Oh, the video has been told that it's fake by this source. Oh, it's fake. Oh, these pieces of crap. All that kind of stuff. So the thing of the matter is, I don't feel like this movie is done. But considering the fact that the hero and the two villains are all dead, oh yeah, spoiler. I want to explore that world. Now we are going to talk about the last one, which, sorry, I feel like I have something on my arm. There's a good movie in here. They just made every wrong decision. I literally am looking at it, and if I take every element from this thing and just tweak it just a little bit, there's a good movie in here. Punisher. Yeah, Punisher. He is in this. Thomas Jane is in this, and I don't care what anybody says. I love Thomas Jane as the Punisher. But there is a good movie in here. There really is. The concept, the characters, everything going into this movie with barely any change, and there would be a good movie. The kid is adorable. I like him. And I feel like the creator of this script wanted to show that just because you have what society has deemed a mental disability does not make you handicapped. And that's the thing. I have, in my family's lineage, we have bipolar. We have, everybody has OCD tendencies. Everybody has ADHD. I mean, I have 3 monitors because I can't concentrate on one thing. I'm constantly doing multiple things. And then dyslexia, all that kind of stuff. Like, I have it in my family. And then, like, I know people who have, oh shit, I can't even think right now. Oh, sorry. I'm not meaning to laugh first. I just found it funny that I could not think of the word. But it's shit, I just had it in my head again. Uh Autism. Sorry. I knew I would get there. I just had to wait. Um I know people that in their family they have autism and all that. I'm so proud of my daughter. She doesn't see that kind of stuff, and she has 2 friends that have autism, and they have very complete different types, because autism is such a broad spectrum of stuff, and that's how they say it. They're on the spectrum. Um, but my daughter loves to go play with her friends. She knows how to deal with them. She knows how to be there for them, and they're always so excited because they have Annabelle, who just goes and has so much fun with them. And she doesn't see them the way a lot of society still somehow sees it, as like a handicapped person. They're just different, and that's not a bad thing. And people that have dyslexia or autism or anything, they can just be this amazing person. And I know, look up the comedian Christopher Titus, and he talks about it, because in one of his shows he used the word retard, and he's like, listen to me, the way I use retard. And he goes through this whole thing, and he goes, if I ever saw somebody call someone a retard that had autism, this, and he describes like 50 different things. He goes, they would have to deal with me physically. And then he goes into his buddy, which such a great show. It's called Voices in My Head. Go check it out. Christopher Titus. I love his stand-up. I miss his show. Such a great thing. But he does that. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter. But so the kid has autism. I can't remember if they went too much into it, but like they made every mistake with the kid. Like, first of all, he's in a classroom, and the teacher, now a teacher would know if he has somebody with something like that in his classroom. An alarm goes off and it triggers the kid, so he's covering his ears trying to like focus. And so the teacher walks the fuck out on him. Like, first of all, teacher's a fucking asshole. Then the bullies come after him and they're like, oh no, you're fucked up. We're not going to pick on you. And they walk away, only to come back later on in the movie to pick on him. And then some random person on a Halloween night puts his lights on. The kid rings the doorbell trying to freaking get some candy. The guy doesn't answer while the bullies are making fun of him. And as the bullies are making fun of him, he walks towards him, and the guy in the house takes a fucking apple and chucks it at the kid's head. Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, that guy deserved to die, and he does, thankfully. Anyway. And then you go into other characters like Olivia Munn's character. Okay. They did a very similar character in the new Men in Black. She figures out aliens are real. Great. So she goes into that field of study, all that kind of stuff, and then she's sitting there with the Predator in front of her, and she's all excitable. Great. Predator gets up, starts creating havoc. Now, this is in the trailer, and then it's a decontamination thing. So she goes out, and the thing won't let her out until she contaminates herself. So she's in the shower. She strips all the clothes down. Okay. So now we're going into Predator lore. We're not going into what people called it. She's sitting there in the shower trying to hide from this thing that she thinks is going to kill her. The Predator walks up. She's basically holding herself, like covering up and scrunched down. Predator looks at her and walks away. Now everybody goes, well, why did she have to be naked? Do you not understand what the Predator is? Watch Predator 1 and Predator 2. At the end of Predator 1, when Arnold is sitting there with just a knife, what does the Predator do? He takes all of his weapons except for his blades off. He strips his armor off because Arnold doesn't have armor on. He strips all of the weaponry that would give him too much. First of all, Predators always have advantages. Let's not go into that. But he strips it all off to face Arnie at the same. He's going to use just his strength and a blade. That's it. In Predator 2, the female cop, the Predator grabs a hold of her, was about to kill her right beforehand, scans her, finds out she's pregnant, sets her down, and walks away. Predators are just trying to challenge themselves. They are basically the Spartans of the universe. That's what they are. And they're always being monitored. And I believe in the comic book, this knowledge came from my cousin. So if it's wrong, please correct me in the comments, because I don't mind being corrected. But when the Predators go for these hunts, they're always being monitored. And if they ever show that they have no weapons, I'm just going to kill you for the hell of it, they're fucked now. They're completely and utterly fucked. So leaving her alone, she was completely naked. She was not a threat. Now, moving on from that, then she automatically gets clothes. And now this person that has just studied astronomy and biology and all that kind of stuff, now she's fucking running down a Predator with a sniper rifle. She all of a sudden goes from a mild-mannered doctor to fucking taking people down with guns. That makes no sense. And the thing of the matter is, it could have been easily explained. Now, the funny thing is, when I was sitting there, I was expecting them to say that she was the daughter of the woman from the first Predator movie. Because the woman from the first Predator movie had an ethnic background. I can't remember exactly where they were, but it was a Hispanic background. And Olivia Munn does have like a a Spanish kind of look. So if they would have said that it was her daughter and, you know, she prepared her, would have made sense. But up to that point, it didn't make any sense. Then the biggest twist of all, and it was the stupidest fucking thing. This predator was on our side. It was on our side? It was bringing us a weapon? Really? Why did the same fucking government officials that knew that the predator was bringing them a weapon to fight this new fucking set of predators? Why the fuck did you capture him and almost dissect him? He's on your side. You literally captured your ally. That would, in a war zone, somebody going, okay, I'm going to bring you all the plans for the people that are trying to kill you. I'm going to bring you all the plans. I'm going to bring you switches and everything so you can take them down like that. Grab a hold of him. Kill him. He's bringing you a weapon. You just killed the guy that just took basically a nuclear bomb from your enemy and is willing to hand it over to you, and you killed him. You put him in jail and went to dissect him. And it gets revealed halfway through the movie. Oh yeah, he was bringing us a weapon. Why did you capture it? You knew that was him. And why did he kill everybody? Well, actually, in my mind, you know why he killed everybody? Because they were about to dissect him. What the fuck did you just do? Now, going back to the other good stuff, the new Predator makes sense. Completely makes sense. It just took Tony Stark's technology and whatever. But the one thing that I really loved, and I really wanted this to go somewhere, but it's not, the bus scene. Now, the main guy that discovers the original Predator, now he knows aliens exist. He gets captured. What do they do to him? They put him in a mental facility. You know what? That sounds real. That's legitimately, if a government program was trying to hide it, that's exactly what you would do. Okay. So then he ends up on bus because, of course, he's an Army Ranger. Otherwise known as bad motherfuckers. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what the entire A-Team was. But literally, Army Rangers are badass motherfuckers. So he, of course, is going to need certain care. So, of course, he would end up with other commandos that had stuff kind of ring their bell. You have one guy that I feel like they didn't give him enough of a reason, somewhat. This one guy kind of got turned around, spaced out, and he ended up killing his own allies for some reason. I feel like it just, the stories maybe needed a little bit more details. But it showed that each one of them, you know, had their own mental problems that happened because of war, you know, PTSD, all this kind of stuff. So that commando unit really made sense because none of them are bad guys. They just have seen some shit and then it really fucked with their mental side. So that made so much sense, and I wish they would have gone somewhere with it. Again, spoiler territory, and this is probably going to go to the end, so you've been warned. Finally, at the end of the movie, the entire commando unit, all dead, except for the original guy that found it, somehow shipped it, all that kind of stuff, whatever. They find the weapon, and it's a suit. And by the way, this guy, I feel like his speech patterns just don't make sense. But again, maybe they just needed to better explain it. I did love his wife. His wife was kind of a badass, and kind of, they had codes, like if anything happens, do this, and then destroy. And like everybody listens, she goes, take care of him. Boom! Throws in thing in the garbage disposal, fucking grinds it up and puts water down it so her phone is completely destroyed and they can't track him. So I did like the wife. The wife was really, really cool. But it's just some of his lines just didn't make sense. Like, Sometimes he sounded way more Southern. But then again, you go into the guy that played RoboCop, and every now and then his speech patterns kind of did that. Like when before he becomes RoboCop, when he goes, "Kiss your mom goodnight," and he goes, "Too slow, boy," and all of a sudden he got like this Southern twang. I guess some people kind of do that. So it bothered me. Just his speech patterns for some reason bothered me, because at the end they find out that it's a suit, right? To be honest, when they open this pod, I was half expecting Arnold Schwarzenegger to be in the pod and him to just all of a sudden come out of like cryo freeze and just be like, ah, fuck. And that would be the end of the movie or something. I don't know. That's what I was expecting. So when the gauntlet came and it got on the doctor and it kind of showed off real quick and then zipped back in, and they go, "What is that?" And he goes, "That's my new suit, Bubba." And he's like, "I hope it comes to like a 42 long." I just felt like, I don't feel like the character would have said Bubba. Now, if it was my uncle, yeah, my uncle says it all the time. But it was just a weird speech pattern. But the sad part is I see that suit and I'm just like, dude, I want to see a human get a Predator-esque suit, and I want to see him go against a horde of fucking predators. Also, that was the other thing that pissed me off so much. This is like the fifth Predator movie. So we've had the one with Arnold, we had Danny Glover's, which was actually pretty decent and actually goes way a little bit further into the lore. We have Alien vs. Predator, we have Alien vs. Predator Requiem, and then we have Predators, which that was another interesting movie. So this is actually the sixth Predator movie, and they had to refer to them as Predators. Oh my God, no, no, no. Look at the Alien franchise. They're not called aliens, they're called xenomorphs. It's the Predator franchise. We don't need to call them predators, man. And then clear in the movie, they literally make it into a joke twice where they describe what they do, and they're like, that doesn't sound like a predator. Predators hunt for survival. That sounds like a big game hunter. And they go, "Oh, well, we took a boat and predators sounds better." And then later on, one of the crazies, "That's not a predator at all." I know, right? Just don't call them predators. The movie is called Predator. Do not call them predators. Realizing, yes, I don't know what their species is ever called because we don't have a name for them, and I don't give a shit. Technically, I think one of the biggest reasons we have a name for a freaking alien from the Alien franchise as a xenomorph is because it's James Cameron and he likes to fucking name his shit. Yes, the Terminator is called the Terminator, but it is a Cyberdyne System Model 800 Terminator series because he terminates people. Technically, all the other robots aren't always called Terminators because of the fact that this Terminator actually does that job. It's not a name, it's a job description. I'm a delivery driver. The Terminator is a Terminator unit. But don't give the Predators a name. It's bothered me so much. But anyway, again, there's a good movie in here. There really is, and I hope they continue with this another movie. Unfortunately, they're not going to continue from where this left off. They're just not. And if I'm right, we're going to have an interesting thing because now Disney owns the Predator. Not a bad thing. I don't have a problem with Disney owning it. this is the thing with the Disney merger. They still need to use 20th Century Fox as their R-rated, and this is definitely an R-rated film. Literally, it says it right there. But Predator does need to be R-rated because this, I mean, look at I call it Concrete Jungle, even though it was that's what I was about to call it. But it's the game, but he literally rips the spine all the way to the head out and keeps it as a trophy. The Predator franchise needs to be R-rated because these people aren't, going to slice you up nice and cleanly and kind of just go, okay. No, they're going to tear you apart. And you have to match that. So again, it definitely needs to be R-rated. It still needs to be under the 20th Century Fox logo. It can still say a Disney product. I don't care, but keep the 20th Century Fox around. But those were the movies that I got, and I actually didn't dislike any of them. Like I said, if you watch Predator and you kind of try to break it down and see where they were going, it's all good concepts. The execution fails miserably. But then again, I just wanted to see a Predator movie where shit gets fucked up, and shit got fucked up. Sometimes in a bad way. So anyway, what did you get on Black Friday? If you got any movies on Black Friday, let me know in the description. If you have a recommendation for any movie, or if you just want to say that I fucking suck, or you want to go off on me because I still hate Joker. I want to get a shirt that says I hate Joker and just have the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker on the front. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. Want to help me out? I think I'm going to start a Patreon page because that's what everybody on YouTube does. But also, I don't like GoFundMe for the most part. But anyway, people more like Patreon. Anyway, so right now I still have the links for my GoFundMe pages for my daughter and for myself. At the same time, if you want to help contribute to the show, I have my Amazon wish list, which has stuff for the show, new lighting, because again, I'm using my ceiling fan and a few different lights around my room because I'm obsessed with lights. I still need to get my strip lights. I just got the job, so I'll be doing some stuff. But I got to do Christmas shopping. Oh my God. What's it, the second? I've got 23. This is the latest that I've gone Christmas shopping. And the sad part is I've already done a lot of Christmas shopping with my old job. I had Christmas shopping, some of it done in June and July. Unfortunately, because I have a 10-year-old, there's certain things I have for her, but for the most part, I try to go closer to Christmas because her likes and dislikes change like that. I mean, if somebody makes fun of a shirt she wears, she no longer wants to wear that shirt or any shirt close to that. It's what you got to do. She's 10 years old. She's trying to figure out who she is. So I waited. And now I'm going to have to go for it. I do think I know one or two things that I'm going to get her. Especially 10 years old. I want to get her a little bit more adult, but I don't want her to go away from the child. So I'm going to kind of try to mix a little bit of both in there. So I'm really excited about that. But January. I cannot wait till this comes. It's been almost a year. The present is right there, man. And I cannot wait. I'm going to bawl my eyes out because I know what she's going to do. She's going to start crying. I'm going to start crying. It's going to be such a great daddy-daughter thing, and I just cannot wait till January gets here, which is really funny because it's around my birthday that I'm going to end up giving her this present. So it's like, hey, daddy's birthday. Here's a present for you. Anyway, but like I said, sorry, I'm going into it. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me I'm an asshole. Fuck me. Fuck off. Fuck everything. Fuck. Suck it. Anyway, I'm going crazy right now because it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Ah! But anyway, like, subscribe. Tomorrow will be my wrestling show. I'm going to see if my buddy Adam wants to join it with me. Give him kind of a heads up. It might be another late showing. I don't get off tomorrow until 11, which is what I got off tonight, which 11 o'clock turned into 1:15, which I don't mind. I'm actually a workaholic. Um, I remember 3.5 years ago is when I got my job at Pizza Hut, and I remember I hadn't had a job for a long time, and the person that hired me goes, "So you're going to get about 12 to 15 hours, but don't ever expect to see 15." The very next week, I had 37 hours, and I never looked back. And then by the time I left there, I was being scheduled 10 hours of overtime. So I'm hoping to get more hours. The boss actually came up to me today and kind of goes, "So now that you kind of got it, I was wondering, let me know if you can do some weekend shifts and da 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 da." I'm like, "Call me whenever." I've been known to go out there for 1 hour, not the job I have now, but like Pizza Hut and Domino's. I've been known to go up for like 1 hour. Go there, take some deliveries, make some money, leave. So I was like, yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really having fun, and I'm making money again. I like money. I like money. If you don't know that reference, go see Idiocracy with Luke Wilson. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow for Breaking Kayfabe. See ya.